Mercury is one of the most toxic elements and a persistent traveler through our environment. So who's the travel agent for this elemental poison? Coal-fired power plants? Most definitely. Mining operations? Of course. Your neighborhood dental office? Surprisingly, yes. The United Nations Environmental Program reports that 10% of global mercury usage is for amalgam tooth fillings. This results in up to 340 tons of dental mercury journeying into the environment each year. In the United States, dentists are currently the second largest users of elemental mercury. This accounts for roughly 32 tons of mercury used yearly to place amalgam restorations, otherwise known as silver dental fillings. Because of the introduction of long-lasting alternatives and safety concerns, the number of amalgams placed has decreased over the last few decades. However, since many dentists still use amalgam without precautions, the threat of mercury exposure continues. Dental mercury travels many pathways on its journey back into the environment. It starts when a dentist receives precapsulated dental amalgam. In each capsule, up to 900 milligrams of elemental mercury is separated from the other alloys. To make the final product, the capsule is vigorously shaken in a triturator to thoroughly mix all the elements. The used amalgam capsule still contains small amounts of mercury, so the ADA recommends the capsules be stored in an airtight container and collected by a hazardous waste company. Unfortunately, the majority of dentists toss the capsules into the trash. This mercury-contaminated trash will eventually travel to an incinerator or landfill, where the mercury would continue its trek back into the environment. Back at the dental office, the freshly mixed amalgam is placed into the tooth. The dentist then carves away any excess material. Most is suctioned out and flows through a filtration system. But this system only captures a small percentage of the larger pieces. The vast majority of much smaller pieces escape into the wastewater. A similar scenario plays out when dentists replace amalgam fillings. Many dentists, not realizing the environmental harm, clean out their filtration systems by throwing the captured mercury-tainted sludge into the drain, releasing the amalgam directly into the wastewater. Many dentists also dump the sludge into the garbage. This mercury-contaminated trash sets off to either an incinerator or landfill, where it continually off-gases into the atmosphere or seeps into the ground. The ADA estimates amalgam fillings contribute up to 50% of the mercury found in wastewater. This contaminated water then flows to publicly owned water treatment plants. While efforts are made to remove the mercury from wastewater, most of it settles down into the sewage sludge, which is then taken and spread on land as fertilizer or deposited in a landfill. In both scenarios, the mercury constantly off-gases into the atmosphere and seeps into the ground. A percentage of the sewage sludge is also sent packing to incinerators. With over 200 tons of dental mercury in the mouths of Americans, even exhaling is a contributor of mercury vapor to our atmosphere. Additionally, people with amalgam fillings serve as hosts for mercury's passage back to our environment through the excretion of human waste. Mercury's ride continues even after death. Crematories, which are unregulated and contain no filtering processes, are a growing vehicle for transporting mercury back into the atmosphere. When all the various pathways are accounted for, dental mercury contributes roughly 28.5 tons into the environment each year. Luckily, there are many viable solutions to stopping or limiting dental mercury releases. Amalgam separators, which capture amalgam waste, provide a low-cost solution for stopping the majority of dental mercury from entering the wastewater stream. Hazardous waste recycling companies can properly recycle amalgam refuse. Suction units with charcoal filters can trap the mercury vapor so as not to contaminate the dental office or environment. Finally, once environmental cleanup costs related to dental mercury are factored in, the many currently available alternatives to amalgam cost substantially less. The governments of the world are actively working together to reduce the amount of mercury released into the environment in order to protect human health. With the threat so great and the solution so simple, it's time to restrict mercury's passport.